Worms. We all hate them unless you have super soil, then you love them. But everyone else hates them. They are so annoying to deal with, and you know this. And for those that don't know, you will be shown how to dodge them without breaking your turd. Because if you are not careful, a simple mythic worm can break your turd even if you have super, and all of these soldier fire ants here will swarm you to death if you do not find cover. Just don't break it on another soldier fire ant, because worms tend to do this. First you are going to need 2 bubbles, preferably 2 ultra bubbles. You will then need a mixture of stalling petals and damage petals. And no, you do not need unique bone for this. But unique bone makes everything easier, as you would expect. I will prove this soon. Now why do you need 2 bubbles? Well, you will need 2 bubbles because you will not have enough bubble speed to move away from the vicinity of the worm. You could get away with it if you had 1 super bubble, but not everyone has a super bubble now, do they? And this is why the second bubble is needed, because if you do not have a second bubble, you will not have enough bubble boost to get out of the range of the worm. Also, don't mind me whilst I lure out the soldier fire ant. You can bubble just as the worm is about to stop, appear and attack you. That's the quickest way to be able to escape the worm. If you don't bubble in time or somehow mess it up, yeah, good luck trying to get out of the mess that you have created for yourself. There is an easier way to deal with ultra worms, but this is mainly 1 by 1. I will prove this with a super that almost everyone has, like coin, because let's be real, everyone has coin, and I didn't have any spare bones to try this with because I used it all on the unique bone. This is easier when the worm is about to target you again, because right at the moment it targets you, you do not need to use your bubbles, but it's best to prepare just in case. Of course, this takes a lot longer to kill if you have something like coin, but with enough focus you can still kill it and not have any monsters on you. I would call this a success. Would you not? A worm sniping you at the wrong time, the biggest fear for a solo player in these anthells. Now what about when there's multiple worms heading your direction? Well, you are going to have to worm bend, and move yourself into a position where both worms cannot target you, although keep in mind there is a limit on this, as worms will randomly appear after some time if you do not trigger them. If you are unable to kill both worms or at least one of the worms, you are going to have to hold them off until you clear everything around you, or at the very least try to clear everything around you. Though admittedly this is not as easy as it looks. This ain't so easy when you're solo. Now dealing with multiple worms is more of a group thing. It's not something you could probably deal with solo, unless you have a good unique should I say. But all that I have said currently can apply to both solo and as a group. And if these worms are not targeting you, then it's best to target the worms anyway, because they are more of a threat than the ants, as a group. Now if you're solo, again, good luck. Because if you think a bunch of players dealing with about 10 or more worms at once was bad enough, try and do it solo. They're not all dead. There were about 10 or more worms. And the only way to dodge all of this is to just hide somewhere with turd and hopefully they do not target you. Because targeting them 1 by 1 is better than taking them all at once when you're solo. I don't know if I should make a step-by-step guide for this time, considering that the scenarios are generally very different depending on your style of play and what you're doing. Perhaps it is best to make one for solo and then one for a group, and the group would often include multiple worms coming after you. So I guess I will do that. Starting with solo first. Step 1. Use a build with 2 bubbles and a mixture of stalling and damage petals. Web, pincer and jelly for stalling, bone, iris and whatever other damage petal for damage. Step 2. Keep your turd as far away from your damage petals as possible. You do not want to accidentally break them, unless you are able to use it next to your damage petals and not have it break, which leads into step 3. Keep an eye on where your turd is located. Why? Because if you lose track of it, you can accidentally break it, and then everything will come after you and kill you if you do not find a hiding spot. Which leads into step 4, find a hiding spot so that as many ants as possible no longer target you, and then kill the rest that are still targeting you if you can, or find another hiding spot, so that no more ants are targeting you. Step 5. Bubble quickly out of the way when the worm is on top of you for the first time. If you don't, your turd will break if it's not in the right position. Step 6. Move back and forth when the worm targets you again. You need to do this immediately because if you don't, Step 5 will have to be applied again. Step 7. If another monster targets you on accident, you are going to need to find a hiding spot unless you are able to kill that monster quickly. If it's another worm, find a hiding spot. Step 8. Keep going back and forth until the worm dies. Step 9. I have already prefaced this by saying not to break your turds, so I will say the most obvious next step. Do not fucking die! And that's for soloing worms. What about in a group? I will do this as well. Step 1. Clear everything before the worms. I'm talking about when there's more than one worm. Unless the huge squad is able to kill the worms before the ants. Step 2. Worm bend. But this only works with 2 worms, so you're best holding off until you kill all ants before the worms that have locked onto you. Step 3. Just keep retreating whilst attacking them, certainly if a super has locked onto you. Step 4. If there are too many worms, and in this recording there was definitely too many worms, you're just going to have to run and run and run until you find a safe space, and then regroup and kill them one by one as step 5. But I think in a mega squad I don't think that they understand this even after they die. Step 6, and this is for many of you, don't be a bitch. Because nobody likes being one of them, right? Especially when you lure everything onto the mega squad or the squad that you're farming with. The steps for the group squads are mainly to survive and not necessarily to dodge. However, what I said earlier in the solo also applies to group squads. Just don't be surprised if other players ruin it for you, because the steps for the solo are meant to be for solo. So you best be prepared. If this doesn't help you, then I've wasted over 7 minutes of your time. If this does help you, then I hope it is of use to you. I have nothing left to say other than kill those damn worms. They are annoying as hell. I see no worms here. Absolutely zero.